Hello, hello, hello. Remote Work Spain people, Remote Work Europe people. Thanks so much for joining us for our very first webinar with our brand new partners, Xolo Spain. I'm really excited about this webinar. I would love it if you could just let me know in the comments. You don't have to tell me if you're excited about tax. We'll let you off answering that question. But tell me where you're tuning in from, where you're listening from, where you're watching from, because it's lovely to get a sense of where our audience is. And also from an accounting point of view, it's actually really practical because things differ in different regions. We know that's all part of the fun of doing anything in Spain. So without any further delay, I'm going to welcome our guest speaker today, who is Sade from Xolo Spain. She is going to introduce the platform, introduce what it really means to do tax in a digital way, because so many of us have been struggling with outdated systems and approaches over the years. And we'll be taking questions at the end. So please drop your questions into the comments as we go along. I'll be going through those. Obviously, some of them I'm sure we'll answer as we go along, but we'll make sure that we have time at the end for anything we haven't addressed. So Sade, take it away and welcome.
Thank you, Maya. And thanks for everybody that is joining today. I see that we have like a mix, like a lot of people living across Spain. So welcome. And I hope that the Spanish bureaucracy has treated you at least not as violent as many of the freelancers can say in Spain. But that's why we are here today. So I'm going to introduce myself again. I'm Sade. My name is Sade Yarramendi and part of the customer success team at Xolo. And I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about the freelancing in Spain. Well, if you don't know already, what if you want to refresh a little bit, and how can Xolo help you with everything? All right. So actually, one of the first models that Xolo had is like we take the pain out of Spain, because we know what a pain can be to be, like dealing with the bureaucracy in the country. We know that the taxes are a bit complex to fill. Maybe the forms are sometimes not like very clear, and also in Spanish, and it's like sometimes we can get lost in translation. And of course, with the ongoing situation in Spain, there are new rules, constant changes, like in every other country as well. And everybody can be afraid to make any mistakes. Especially, I am super like, I leave everything in the hands of my accountant, because I don't want to be charged extra, or to, like file everything wrong and then find out that I have like a fine, or I need to pay more than I was counting on. And there are things that as a freelancer you should take into account, especially for this 2026. Okay. First, and if you don't know already, I'm sure you know that the renta filling time is on from April to June. All right. So renta is the annual tax return that anybody, like everybody that is that is a tax resident in Spain should feel. Okay. And it's from April to June. So if you already have any activity last year and you're a tax resident from 2025, then you need to fill this out this year on these dates. Also, Verifactú, and maybe some of you have already heard of this. This is going to be because of the new anti-fraud law. There is this software that will load your invoices directly to the Hacienda, how to say, like files. So they're going to have this live. And there is a software that you need to have also in your computer or with your tax system. And guess what? Xolo has it. But you need to do to have this as a mandatory requirement starting January 2027. It was actually going to be mandatory from this year, but they delayed it a bit. So, everybody can have a little bit more time to prepare themselves for this. So that's a really good news of sorts. But we already know that we need it, and you already can find it in Xolo's dashboard. Also, quarterly tax fillings. Okay, so if you don't know, or maybe you are already aware of, every quarter of the year. So on March, June, September, and December, you need to fill out the quarterly reports, okay, with the activity that you've already done on those months of the year. And the Social Security contributions have changed since like 2 years ago, where you need, and the fee that you pay depends on the bracket, on the income bracket that you are. Okay, so depends on how much you earn. It depends on how much you need to pay after the flat rate. All right. And I think that's pretty much what you need to think of in terms of being a freelancer this year, at least, as a freelancer in Spain. All right. How Xolo makes your life easier. It's because we take the pain out of Spain, as I was saying, but because we take the administrative burden for you. So we have the accountants that are expert in the freelancing way, especially with everything that needs to be done online, and they also speak English. Okay, so if you somehow felt that you couldn't communicate with your accountant and with your gestor, and then there was some things that could get lost in translation, our accountants are all fluent in English and they can help you at least with that. Okay, if you are speaking other languages, I cannot make sure about that. Okay, but at least English and Spanish, they can help you. Also, we have an easy-to-use accounting system in our platform where you can create a profile in it, and you can draft invoices, submit expenses, and pretty much everything that you need to know about your accounting and administrative side, it's going to be there. Okay, so it's pretty easy to use. And we do the filings for you. So we do the quarterly reports for you based on the information that you load in this platform, okay? And we take care of basically everything so you can have more time for your business, like for your real business, than the bureaucracy in Spain. So this is something that we are proud of because we are making your life easier. That's for sure, okay? And everybody that is a freelancer, okay, even if you're a local, if you lived your whole life in Spain, or you're an expat and you're just recently got into Spain, then we can help you with that, okay? So if you are, if you are working from Spain and you're a tax resident, then you are perfect for us. And actually, yes, we offer services for mainland Spain, at least most of it, and the Canary Islands, because sometimes the communities in Spain have like different tax obligations, but we take care of most of it. Okay, so peace of mind and time saving can go together. This is one of our other mottos. Is like we want to make your life easier with what I already mentioned. Online invoicing, the administrative, everything. You don't need to go anywhere to do anything. Everything can be done online. Okay, so you can be at the beach talking with your gestor about the tax filing that they are about to report. Also, transparency and control of the taxes. So we are pretty intense about it. We need your information, not your information. We need the details of your activity to be updated all the time. So you need to draft the invoices in real time. You need to upload your expenses also in real time, well, at least as real in time as it can be for us to prepare the reports correctly. But as I mentioned, we are the ones that do it. So that's why we are intense. We need to do it, everything, and we do it correctly. We like to be prepared ahead of time. And the local experts that I already mentioned. Our accountants are the best and they speak English. If you have any questions or if you want to know anything before, after, during report season. Okay. I don't know if you see it here, all right? But there is like a little box, but you can also see this on our website where you can see how our dashboard works, like our platform. It's pretty simple, okay? It goes from light to dark mode, like no special colors on it, but it's pretty easy to use, okay? So all you need to do and you want to have in this platform actually is to have the tax compliant invoicing, okay, with or without Verifactú, at least this year, with Verifactú next year because it's mandatory, but this year you can have both. Also, the expense uploading, system and deduction review, it's done also by our platform. Okay, we use AI on this as well, so it makes our lives and yours easier. Everything is already stored and organized online. So in the case that you want to use Xolo and tomorrow you want to go to another gestor, We are going to be sad, but it's okay. That's life. But you will have everything already in an archive, in a file. In a file that you can go with to your other history, and or you can download it directly from your dashboard if you want it, just to
Sure, I'm
have
just going
everything.
to share my onboarding blog in the comments now, because that's got some screenshots of all of it, because it is so different being able to dashboard everything like this. It's unlike anything else that I've come across in Spain. So do have a look at this article if you want a closer look at any of these screens. And it's so
especially for autonomous that are already autonomous, because when you are new to everything, it's almost like easier, because we all just need your data and then we do the registration for you. All right.
Just to confirm, yes, this is recording. You'll be able to, wherever you're watching this now, or if you're unable to finish, yes, you'll be able to catch a recording later on. And also, if you've registered for this, you'll get an email with the link directly to it. So
yeah, or you can ask Maya or us. But yeah, that's a pretty good point, because yes, if you are already autonomous, it's like the onboarding is pretty straightforward. All we need is like your past information. And if you're new, also, like, it's also straightforward. It's like you're gonna have more steps because we need more information, but we are never going to ask for your digital certificate. So it's like all only your information, like what are you activity you're going to do, where are you living, and this kind of information. Also, you can download the reports from the dashboard. Like I was mentioning that you already have all this information there, but you will see it in real time. So when you log in, you can see also in the article that Maya has, is that you have like an overview. You, with the invoicing information that you already added and with the expenses that you're submitting, you have a real-time calculation. Okay, this is estimated, of course, because the accountants then later review everything manually just to make sure that everything is correct. How much you need to pay or how much you need to save to pay at the end of the quarter, because most likely you will need to pay something. Okay, but everything is there, so it helps you prepare, at least mentally, that you need to have this much in your account for the account for Hacienda or the Social Security to withdraw from your account at the end of the day. Also, reports for VAT, reports for annual return, the quarterly reports are mandatory as well. If you need any special form or models that apply to you, because I don't know, you have investments, you are expats, and you have a special regime, these kind of things we do for you as well. And everything, you can find it there. And I actually think that somebody is asking about the Modelo 720. And yes, we do that.
Probably not for this year. I don't know if somebody purchased that today. Could you still do it by next week?
Both, no. For this year, I don't think so. It doesn't. We are out of time, but maybe we can check. Just let us know. Send us an email.
If you haven't done it, you need to talk to Xolo today and ask really nicely.
Like in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, so we can see if we can find you as well. But yeah, it's like pretty tight.
The deadline is literally in a week, so good luck.
Yeah, some things we need to know in advance, because there's a lot of information that we need to process, and of course, these kind of things take time, but we can see. Okay, it's not a no. Because of our experts. That's what I was already mentioning. I think this is one of the things that make a difference in any of this, because of course you're going to find platforms and everything where you can keep the accounting, but the fact that there is a gestor that can guide you and in your questions, and they speak English, they know your main concerns, because we have a really big community of expats also in our client base, and we know what you need, and we know what you need in advance as well, because of course, like Verifactú, it was like we need to rush to add it on our platform, but we made it and we already have it. So it's like we are going to make sure that everything stays compliant on your activity, and great part of that is our historians, which I love them, not because I know them personally, but because they are really good. But yeah, and I don't know if I already mentioned this, but we have more than 100, 130, sorry, 130K of freelancers on board with Spain, and this client base is growing. Our team is growing as well because we want to make it as personalized as it can be. You can go and see our comments. You can ask Maya their experience and everything. I mean, it's like we wish to grow, and we are preparing for that, and we can take care of your activity. So for those maybe that were wondering about the plans that we have a different plan for everybody. Okay, it's mostly set on the invoicing needs that you have. Okay, but mostly if you are going to, if you already know that you will have clients abroad, then global plan is for you. If you are one of those persons that wish to like let go of anything, like all the commissions, you want Xolo to do anything and everything related to your accounting, then the premium one might be the one. Okay, or if you need like something small, or like you are starting and you wanted to see how everything works, or you already know how everything works, maybe lighter starter can be also a plan. But for any plan, as I said, it depends on the invoicing needs. And if you have questions, we can just guide you on which one is going to be the best one for you. But just to let you know, our global plan has an offer currently where you can get this plan for free for 2 months. Okay, then we start charging, of course, the fee. But you can check the plan, see if it fits with your needs, and we are not going to charge anything for the first 2 months of use. All right. And I think that I see that there are like questions, and maybe we can move to that, but not without mentioning that freelancing shouldn't be complicated. We want to make everything easier for you. So for the community that Maya has, there is an extra 50 euros that you can get. Yeah. And all you need to do is to log in with the link that it's in on, well, you will see it there, but Maya is going to send it as, of course, to everybody that is joining on
in
this.
the comments now. So
yeah,
because I think when you combine these two offers, the fact that you could get 2 months free, I mean, you don't need to cancel anything with your current provider. You can enroll with Xolo and just have a look from the inside.
And you get already the 50 euros. It's like,
I think, honestly, I've not come across an offer like this before from a brand that is that confident that they will give you 2 whole months, because obviously that would not be worthwhile for Xolo to do that if they thought you were going to take 2 months, have a look around and say, no, I want to go back to my old hair store. That would just be a crazy offer. So I think just think about that if you're thinking that you might want to do something differently for Q2. Sorry, Shade, back to you. Just thank you, everybody, for all the questions that are coming in. I'm tagging all of them. We're going to go through them again at the end because there's some really interesting stuff coming up there. And any that we can't answer on this stream, will direct you to further sources of help at the end.
Absolutely. So I think that actually we are there, but I want to leave like this screen so everybody has like your link. But yeah, maybe we can start with the questions. I don't know, Maya, if you wanted to go through it and we can, or maybe I can choose.
We'll start with this one. This is this correct to register tomorrow to get April and May free?
Yes. I mean, yes and no. It's just something like, because our billing system starts on the 1st every month. So it would be better to start on the 1st of April to have like the whole month. But you can actually, because the 2 months, actually, this is a really good question. The 2 months are for the month that it's ongoing. So yeah, of course, if you register on the 24th, you're going to have March, then April. But yes,
so
April
it will be 2 calendar
1st.
Months, regardless of your billing dates.
Exactly. And also, if you are not yet an Autonóm, it is going to be better for you to start in April, because then you don't have the need to submit the quarterly report. Okay, because I know it's insane, but the tax agency, even if you are only Autonóm for 1 or 2 days on the last month of the quarter, that would be March. Okay, so if you are going to register right now, then you have the obligation to do the report, even if you don't have any activity yet, or if you haven't file any expense or invoice, you have the obligation to submit the report for this 5 days of the month that are left. Okay, so yes, it would be wise to start on April 1st, because then it's like you start
if you're
on the
not
second quarter
raising
and that's it.
invoices in March, then yes,
Yeah.
don't put your head on the block for to get scrutinized. But in terms of the offer
Totally.
for Xolo, should people still sign up today? So it will just
Yeah, you can
the
register.
24th,
Yeah,
going
they just can just leave the information, okay, and start the process on April 1st, especially for the new ones, okay, for them to get the offer ongoing for the whole 2 months.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to go back up through and try and do these in fairness, in order, because some people put comments in early.
Sure.
So here's one about the renta.
Do I need to file tax if I was a resident in Spain, not autónomo, but I didn't have an income? It depends, because no income doesn't mean you're not a tax resident. So if you spend more than 6 months, okay, actually not 6 months, 183 days in Spain, okay, no matter if it, and I always love to give Shakira's example. I don't know if you heard, but Shakira had like a really big issue with Hacienda because she spent more than 6 months, even, like in and out of the country, and she had to pay to Hacienda because it was demonstrated that she spent more than 6 months. So if you have more than 6 months in Spain already on 2025, then you need to file the tax report in Spain, okay? It might be a joint tax report with your previous tax residency country, so you need to check this with the accountants, okay? But if you already know that you were working and you spent more than 6 months, then you will have the need to do the report.
But even if you have no income, is it best to file anyway, just to say, here I am, I didn't earn anything, put my hands up?
Yeah, because you will be considered a tax resident. Even if you didn't have any income, you're going to be considered a tax resident. So it's better to just
file a zero return is better than not.
Yeah. What an accountant can tell you better, because of course all of the situations are different. It depends.
Welcome to Spain. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we handle the income where there is no invoice, for example? Okay. Well, actually, the AdSense can add this information. Well, actually, this is really good a question, because we find like some cases where the tax agency has reviewed, especially with visums or, like the AdSense. Actually, this is a really good question. They are scrutinizing this more often than no one, especially since a year and a half back, because they know that people have online income, and this needs to be added as an income. So how it works, you don't need an invoice from Google. Okay, they should give it to you because you have an account with them and they can send this information to you. Okay, but there's this one thing that is called factura simplificada. Factura simplificada is a simplified invoice where you just add where this income is from. Okay, you don't need to add like the whole information from Google. Okay, you just say that it's from Google AdSense. The description is for the information that you because you are earning for ads basically, and add the amount that you're receiving from Google, so it matches the income that you're receiving in your account.
That's what I can say from my experience. My royalties like this tend to go through my Estonian business rather than my Spanish one. So it's not an exact parallel. But what happens is little bits trickle in, like Amazon royalties and so on. And then the Xolo platform creates a matched invoice just to fit against that income. And then once a quarter or something, Amazon sends me a spreadsheet and they can reconcile it against that just as a triangulation. So for the purposes of the monthly accounting, obviously, if some strange amount from Amazon just appears in the bank account, it doesn't make much sense. But then there has to be an income made in your system, and that will obviously be for Verifactú. That's going to be required anyway.
Well,
so
also it depends on
for that.
Yeah, and also it depends on who it's going to send you this money, because sometimes it's Google Ireland. I think it's coming up, and they need to have this information already added. But you should report it, and yes. But it's like if they don't give you an invoice, you can create one, as I said, like a simplified factura simplificada, and then you can add this information, and we can just connect the income with with the real income that you have, the invoice with the real income.
Yeah, I think it's worth bearing in mind as well, just with the additional scrutiny on Autonóm bank accounts, it's really important to work with a platform that can account for these random little bits of income, because you don't want to have to answer questions.
Yeah, and with wallets, Visum, everything is increasingly going to be reported to the tax authorities. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How secure is the data we share? Well, then with us, you don't share this information. I think so. I don't know if with Xolo, all you need to do is to submit your invoice and the expenses that you have. We don't need anything extra from you. Sorry. So with the GDPR, what we do, we actually have a terms of service. I don't know if you already know that you had to start on April, and this information before you sign on and before you pay, you have our terms and conditions where you have all this information on how we treat your data. But you are protected. We don't share this with anyone, and with anything else as well.
To those standards, but I mean, this is a company that the parent company was born in Estonia, which is probably the most cyber secure country in the world, for good reason. I don't think there will be any concerns about the security credentials, and probably neither Ade or I are experts on that. So we'll dig out the relevant notes and drop them in the comments. I will just say one thing on the security front, which I found very reassuring, is that Xolo have never asked me to hand over my digital certificate. We'll do some additional content around that later in the year, but I think for me that was extremely reassuring in terms of how they maintain those boundaries and barriers, and there is absolutely rigid hygiene about information and how it flows within the system.
We don't want your digital certificate. It's like a lot of responsibility based on what you asked, Diana. But yeah, we have our own digital certificate where we can do the things that we need to do as your accountants. So we don't need it. We won't ask for it. Okay, so my clients force me to use their own invoice system. Oh my God. Does it still add value to use Xolo? Well, it depends, because we still need for you to file the invoices on our system. So we don't use invoices from other services. We were working on that and trying to see if we could do something, but it requires a lot of manual work. So we avoided that. So we work only with the invoices and the information that you submit on our platform. So sometimes
I'm sure you just create a match invoice as you go, right? I think another thing is, does that invoice system that your client forces you to use, is that Verifactú compliant? Because if not, you're going to need another system anyway by the end of the year.
That's true, but yeah. Sometimes when we have this case, especially when clients use like Upwork and these like platforms, they just duplicate it. And what we do is that we take only the ones that are done in our platform, because we make sure that everything is tax compliant with the invoices that you're drafted on our platform, as the information that is like original and that we submit to the Hacienda reports.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a really short answer, but it's a very important question. I think it's really confusing in Spain, because we have asesors, we have gestores, we have contables, we have tax lawyers, and most people, I think it's very confusing because people don't always advertise very clearly what they are, and when people ask for recommendations. Absolutely. So I'm really glad this question was asked and answered.
It's actually a good question, because you were mentioning assessores. We are not assessores, because that would be like we are giving you advice, and we don't do that. That requires like a lot of legal background on that, even though the accountants know that. It's also a big liability. So we don't give advice. They will tell you how is the best way to move forward with your taxes, okay? But we won't tell you like, okay, you should invest in this. No. Our accountants are certified. Actually, well, of course, they need to be. I don't know if
they're accountants, not financial advisors.
Yeah, no, and actually you can search in the colegios, in the Colegio de Gestores. You can search their information if you want to make sure. But yes, rest assured. How does Xolo understand if the expense is deductible? Because we have rules. So, well, actually, what you can do to understand if expense is deductible is if it's related to your activity. So, of course, normally a grocery shopping invoice, it's not deductible in most cases because maybe an activity can handle that. It requires a lot of support and comments on that. But it depends on how it's linked to what you're doing. So if you are registered as a designer and then you need to buy fabrics, of course, that's an expense that you can deduct. Or if you're a developer, or if you are and you need to, how do you say, when you use integrations, or if you are signed to, I don't know, Adobe, for example, and you're paying for that, that can be an expense that is deductible. So it is based on if what you're paying for, it's needed for your activity to be done. Okay, if it's necessary, or if it's something that, even if it's not necessary, it is done because of your activity. Okay, but of course, there are certain things can apply based on the activity that you're doing. So if you have and maybe a doubt of something can be deductible or not, you can check with your accountant before purchasing anything.
I think it's worth mentioning as well that because of the digital approach of Xolo, this is going to be the first quarter that I actually have the expenses of my home office accounted for, because previous accountants have told me, oh, it's not worth it, just to get that like 0.2% of your gas bill or something. Whereas as part of my onboarding, Xolo guided me to dig out the cadastral reference of the house and find out the total square meterage. And then I was on the floor with a tape measure so that I can prove if it ever gets questioned. I'm wishing I'd chosen a bigger room now to be my office, but instead we have hard facts of what the reality is. And it's a really small percentage of my home utility bills. But given what's happening to the cost of fuel at the moment, to the cost of everything else, I'm really glad to have that small percentage accounted for. But I feel that through my onboarding, Xolo's approach has been to expenses has been very, very solid, very clear. There's been absolutely no, oh, we might get away with this, try this, the kind of thing that could blow up in your face if you get investigated in 6 years' time or something. They would say to you, take a more conservative approach. We're not going to put that through because you can't prove that is related to your business. But if it is possible to do it, like with the utility bills, then yes, we're going to build that in. So that's been the approach that I've experienced through my onboarding.
Yeah. The only thing that about the home office is that everybody that has their own address is registered as an Autonóm, because you are not working from a local or a co-working. 30% of the utilities and the rent, if like certain conditions apply, can be deducted. So yeah. Okay. Xolo especially recommended for non-Spanish speakers because of the English. For persons that manage Spanish very well, are there more comparable alternatives? So actually, if you speak Spanish, of course, our accountants are Spanish, and everybody likes service. No, yeah. I mean, there are like a lot of competitors, but I can rest assured that our teams and the accountants are not burned. Can I say it in a nice way? But yeah, like we offer a personalized service, and I think that's the thing that you need to take from this. The English part is because, of course, we are in an expat community, and most of our well, not most, but a lot of our clients are expats, because it's better and we don't get lost in the translation when explaining everything related to your reports. Okay, but as a Spanish speaker, and if you are living in Spain and you are a Spanish people, you can also take very an advantage for Xolo because of the service that we offer.
Yeah, it's more an attitude thing, I think. If you're the kind of person who prefers to go and have a coffee with your gestor and give them a pile of pieces of paper to play with at the end of every month, then this isn't the service for you. Whereas if you think digital first and you work online and you're just used to dealing with platforms that work and to moving at the speed of digital things, then it's more about that than language, I think. I mean, Obviously, if you're used to operating online, then your first language of the internet is English. That's not our fault, blaming the Americans. But the Xolo platform serves natively in both English and Spanish. And obviously, because it's all digital, it's very easy to translate it too. If your first language is neither of those, then you'll probably find it works. But it's absolutely for Spanish speakers too. I think
Yeah.
my accountant
think
is
that
Spanish. She speaks great English, but she is Spanish. I'm sure she'd speak.
Yeah. No, I think that like what makes us different is the service. So
Yeah.
I think it would worth it. Okay, so you're working with a local tax advisor, and I fill out all the information in a Xolo account. Will this be submitted to the tax authority, and will my current tax advisor then be informed about that? So no, because we don't work as well. It depends. So, all right, because the platform also works if you don't want our accounting services, because you can take advantage of the tools of the invoicing and the expense reviews. So you have everything, and then you can download this and then send it to your accountant if you want, if you don't want our accounting services, okay? But we do not fill information if you are, if you have another account. I mean, it's like you will have both at the same time. So I don't know. I mean, that can be very confusing. We can do the reports for you and do it, and you will have the reports. If you have this person that you trust and they are doing or where is your accountant for, like in general, then you can download the information and the reports that we do, and you can send it to them. But yeah,
I think it's a really interesting question, because for me, it highlights the personal relationship that people build up with their professional service providers, and the fact that it's really understandable that you don't want them getting a notification saying, oh, they've dumped you.
yeah.
I think obviously at the point that Xolo is actually filing for you, then they have to be able to represent you. And at that point, you do have to assign permissions if you want them to do that. But what I think is really good about this 2-month trial and about switching now or this week for Q2 is that you will have lots of time to see the platform for yourself, to see if it works. And then, as Shade was saying, you could literally download the data and take that to your current accountant to file for you. Or at that point, because talking about filing for Q2 in, when would that be? July? By that time, obviously, you probably need to pick who's actually going to file for you, because you delegate those permissions and authorize Xolo to actually act for you. Until that point, there wouldn't be any electronic notification to your existing provider, as I understand it. So, but that would be something to walk through with Xolo support as you do your onboarding, because the main thing is to just, you have complete control of it of all time. If you don't want notifications going out, then that limits the things that Xolo can do for you, but you just don't authorize.
We don't appoint ourselves as anything until the report is done, because since we submit the reports, you will see that the report is done by Xolo, because we use our digital certificate. But until the report is done, what we do is just to keep your accounting clean. Like, we review expenses and the invoices, and then if you want to switch, then that's perfectly fine, as Maya's saying clearly.
Yeah. So you absolutely can do what you suggested in the final sentence, is test Xolo without raising any flags with either the so that's exactly what this 2-month trial is for. So additional income. Let me have a go at this, Shade, because I think just testing my knowledge after all these years. I think that this only goes into the renter rather than your quarterly income. Is that correct? Do I get a gold star for that?
Correct, because investment is not an activity that you do as a professional service unless you are investing for anybody else. Okay, so if you have investments and you have a return of investment, this is done and report on the annual return income.
And it doesn't affect your or how much Autonóm fee you pay as well. So it's a good way of it. You taxed on the income, but it's not part of your.
It is not considered It's not considered like an income for a professional service. It's considered a return of investment. Okay, but have no income to report? Yes, as I was saying, even if you have zero, you're an autonomous and you're only paying Social Security, you still need to do the
You're
reports
out
because
there.
you are registered.
Yeah. And you might have expenses that then you can offset against when
Yeah.
you do start earning, and or that you've paid EVA on. So it's actually
Yeah,
in your interest to file if you have no income, even if it's negative. So yeah,
exactly.
don't do that to yourself.
Actually, I don't know if you know, but the Social Security fees can be reported as expenses. So,
Yeah, so you already have a credit.
yeah. This is the IRS report to Hacienda. I'm just starting and I'm confused on how to file both countries without earning. Well, and I think that you will need a tax advisor for this
Yeah, this is
because,
outside the scope, isn't it? This is
yeah,
tax
this is
advice.
not,
I
I
think
mean,
you can buy this in
yeah.
Xolo, can't you? If you're a Xolo customer, you can purchase an hour of
You
legal
can
tax
purchase an
advice.
hour with an accountant, but as I said, we are not advisors, and what we can do is to tell you what does Hacienda does and how Solo can help you, but we cannot tell you what the US will want. So it will depend on where obligation starts. How long have you been living in Spain? If you have income here or there, and with whether you are considered tax resident in which country, where your information is going to be taken care of. There might be like obligations that you have in the US because you have a company. Normally, there are like, we have some cases where you have an LLC in the US and then you move to Spain and do something different. Well, you still need to report something in the US and then add that to the report, to the annual report in Spain if you're a tax resident in Spain. Okay, but conditions and obligations will depend a lot on your activity, what you do, what obligations you have in the US, if you have any, and where are you a tax resident. So
Yeah, and
this
I'm just
can
going to
be
add to
answered.
that. I've
Mhm.
spent years straddling Spain, UK, and Estonia, and the only thing I'm going to tell you is that anybody who tries to give advice about all three or more than one jurisdiction, that's probably not professionally qualified indemnified advice. You actually need to talk to people who are qualified in the US and get their opinion, and then you can attach that to a Spanish one. And yes, it's complicated, and yes, it's mind-blowing, but just be really careful about anybody who says, oh yeah, you can definitely do this, or you know, get that
Yeah.
advice once and file it, keep a record of that advice. You should pay for that advice because that gives you the indemnity if it backfires on you in 10 years' time when the IRS decide that they had an interest in your business or something. It's complicated. It's well worth figuring out. Things are getting better, but the only reason I wanted to say that is I've seen a lot of online platforms popping up now that, oh yes, you type in your details and get this kind of nomad tax advice, and actually underneath that there is no guarantee whatsoever, and I've seen people like get really bad advice, and that's totally outside the scope of this webinar, but I think that the advice you've been given is very
It's
sound, which
really
is to
good.
ask
It's
someone.
really good advice to check with a lot of all of the accountants, just to be sure, and with always a lawyer and tax advisor, not gestors. Does Solo connect to your account, to your bank account, or I add every transaction manually? So you can connect your bank account, but what we do is we base the information on the invoice. Okay, so if you add the bank account, you can see the transactions if there is anything missing, but Hacienda works with invoices. Okay, then Hacienda it's going to reconcile this information with your actual bank transactions because the banks are also obligated to submit like all this information. They are going to send it to Hacienda, and Hacienda then at the end of the year will say you lied or not. Okay, but yeah, you can connect the bank, but with the bank transaction, it's only information. The reports are with the invoices that you send out, and also
You're
yeah,
still self-employed. It's not like a limited company where they would look at every transaction for
exactly.
accounting reporting. You
A lot of
still have the
freelancers.
obligation.
And you have like you can have like a personal account and you do a lot of things with that personal account, and it's normal for freelancers. So yeah, you can
Yeah.
connect, but we really base information on the invoices.
I will mention though that it's super easy to get expense information into Xolo because they will give you a unique email address. So you can just, if something comes in, you think, oh yeah, that's a legitimate business expense, I'm sure of it, or at least a proportion of it is, like your electricity bill, just forward that to the mail drop, save it as a contact in your email. Then you can forward that straight in. Also, if you have a recurring invoice, like for a piece of software that you rely on for your business or something, you can actually put the billing email address as that Dropbox, so it goes straight into the system. You never even have to see it. So it's just so much time saved at the end of the quarter when you do that.
Totally, especially for subscriptions and so on. So
Yeah.
If I have a US W-2 contract salary, but my employer lets me work from Spain, should I register as an autónomo? Most likely. I mean, here again, it depends on where you are a tax resident. Because if you are a tax resident still in the US and you are only here as on the Beckham law regime, then you most likely will need to report some of these. But there is like a different tax regime for you in this case. So
again, this is going outside of that Xolo would deal with, except that you could buy that hour of advice additionally.
It would be better. But yeah, I think this can be one, in the Beckham regime, like the Beckham law, but we need to check specifically the details. Yeah, let us know. Send us an email and we can help you figure that out.
You will have to account for that income somehow if you become Spanish tax resident on day 184. So that will either be through employment, where you might get the Beckham tax treatment, or it'll be through Autonóm. But one way or another, Spain will want a piece of it. So,
all right. So you're currently working with Zoom and we'll be moving to Spain permanently next year. I am okay invoicing my clients, but could you offer tax support? And if so, would this support be once a year or more often? So. If you are going to be living in Spain permanently, then you will need to be an autónomo and we can do the reports. The reports are done quarterly. And then the annual report, it's done at the end of the year. So I don't know how to, I mean, you will need to do the reports anyway every quarter. And if you want to do that by yourself, then that's perfect. And we can help you with the annual report as a separate service if you want that. But we recommend very dearly, at least for the first year, to get the help from the professional, just so you know and get acquainted with how the bureaucracy in Spain works, to do the quarterly reports. And then if you feel that you can do the quarterly reports by yourself, and then at the end of the year you want to summarize everything with the helps of the accountants, that's fine. Some people do that because they are very, very like meticulous and detailed on how to file the reports by themselves. But I would recommend for at least the first year to do this with the help of a professional if you want that.
Worth noting as well, you get, with the highest plan on Xolo, you do get, is it a monthly call with your accountant? Just to
correct.
Through
actually, yes, 1 hour per month. So you can just call them and say hi if you have any questions. Even if that's in the premium, it's included as you mentioned, but also in the rest of the plans, you can purchase it as an extra support if you need.
Well, you get really good answers on the chat, actually, which is included in all the plans. So it's, if you want to have a one-to-one phone call, obviously, then you would want to either purchase that or upgrade to premium if you're going to use it a lot. We've got a question about expenses. I've often wondered about this, actually. How far back can you reasonably go if you buy your laptop and you're going to alter next quarter or something?
Or if you bought your laptop like on 2018, then now. But yes, you can purchase things before becoming an autónomo if you can prove that these things were needed for you to do your activity. So a laptop is the most common scenario where you can purchase it in advance before being an autónomo. The thing is that hardware sometimes it's not deducted completely on the first year. There are like certain conditions for this to be deducted, even if when you are already an autónomo. Actually, we have an FAQ on expenses that it explains everything like super detailed. But the answer will be yes.
We'll put a link into that because it is really complicated.
Yeah.
And which autonomous you're in as well. And, yeah,
I will send it so you can have it, but the answer will be yes, only if this is completely needed for you to do your activity. But yeah. So if I need to file the quarterly taxes to March, should I sign up? So there is one sad news is that we only do the reports for existing autonomous until we accept existing autonomous at the last month of the quarter until the 24th. So today, today was like the last day for you to be registered with the Xolo for us to do the quarterly reports for you. So if you want to do that, do it right now.
Right today, guys. If you need filing for Q1, then you need to
Yes.
get on that.
Why?
Use either the link on the screen or there's a longer link here. They both take you to exactly the same place. I just dropped in the comments again. That's really important, actually. If you need Q1, do it. And you still get the 2 months free, though obviously one of those months will then be March, because that's when your first bit of accounting will occur.
We need information, and especially if you are going to get paid back if you have like an amount on your favor, or if you need to pay, because this needs to be presented before the 5th of the April. And I already mentioned you that we have like 130k clients, so that's why we just accept new customers until the 24th, because if not, then we will get crazy, and there's a lot of information that we need from you. So go now on Maya's the registration right now.
You should be able to do that. Okay, it's a quick one from David. I shared a link to Xolo's calculator earlier. I would just drop that in again to the comments in case you missed that. So
I love it.
I
love a calculator.
Yeah, well, you can't keep the stuff in your head. That's not what our brains are for. That's why Xolo exists.
Yeah, so. But actually, there is also a useful guide that we have in it is not in our FAQs, but in our like blog or so, that tells you because of the brackets, there is like an expected also amount. So if you want to have like general information, or you're not sure yet about the income and you don't know, or maybe the calculator is a bit too dense, in this guide will tell you like based on the brackets and based on the income brackets, how much you are expected to pay on Social Security after the flat rate, okay? Because you are still able to apply for the flat rate for the first year.
It's about 80 something euros a month or something, isn't it, for year one and possibly year two if your income stays below the minimum.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are
certain a lot of things. Yeah. To what extent does the global plan include one-on-one advisory sessions with a tax? You need to purchase it. Okay, it is, and the global plan is not included. You need to purchase it if you want to call. Okay, but if you want email, chat, everything, like all the information that is written, it's completely free of course. But the video calls with the content are available as a purchase item that you can just whenever you need it. Just purchase it, and then you can get a date with the content that gets your case. Because in case there is a need for extra, more profound, tailor-made advice, can you be? Well, yeah, normally yes, but as I mentioned, we do not give tax advice. We can tell you how it works on how we deal with the information that you're giving us and the information on how we do the reports. But as I said, we are not giving you advice on how to purchase a house and then and then how to file it on the report. There are certain things that the accountants can and cannot give you advice on. That can be clarified on that call. Maybe you can just send an email with the general questions, and if you want to make a call and it's worth it, the accountants will tell you, okay, maybe just let's jump on a call. We can advise on this. Or not.
Do you know the hourly rate for those calls off the top of your head, Sade, or should we come back to that?
Yeah, we should come back to that because I have no idea. I remember that this changed, but it's not that
keep
much.
these numbers in your head.
Yeah, it's like 19.
If you are quite a person who likes to talk things through, then maybe look at the premium plan, because that includes an hour each month of.
If you are like super nitty picky and you need like everything on detail and explain and digest it, premium plan would be the best because you have your accountant leading you by the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Xolo cover the entire spectrum of tax obligations, also personal and renta next to business? Yes and no, because we do so we manage our focus. It's on the freelancer Autonóm part of the reports. Okay, if you want to purchase it, or if you are on our premium plan, then the annual report is included. Okay, but if not, in the rest of the plans, you can purchase it as an extra. Okay, even if you are not a solo client, because maybe you are not a client, and or your spouse or like partner or your friend wants to do the renta and they don't know how, we also offer that service as an extra. Okay, and we can do that. We also can do the Modelo 720 as an extra. Okay, so it is not on our day-to-day support, but we can do that as an additional price
And that would
at
be
the end of the
next
year, of
year,
course.
720.
Exactly.
Not this week.
720 no longer time, so sorry about that. You had a point of time.
I mean, this webinar is at the perfect time for lots of reasons,
Yeah.
including this special offer. This is a clarification from Diana. Yeah, as I understand it, you would wait till tomorrow if you want to get April and May free. Obviously, you're not going to be filing anything much then on that. If you need Q1, join Xolo now. If you need Q2, then might make
But
sense.
if you are not an Autónomo yet, you may wait for April 6th. First, actually, and it's recommended to avoid filing any quarter report for this Q1. And
But this week, if you want the offer, right? So you need to...
Actually, yeah, no, it's at the end of the month. Maybe what we can do is to send us an email. All right, so send us an email and we can see how to help you. But yes, it's until the end of the month. But I think that maybe we can do something because you are part of this.
I just had an update from Xolo support who were listening in and supporting us to confirm that the consultation call with an accountant for 45 minutes, that's not included on the global plan, but it is €69 plus VAT. So you literally purchase that. It's like an online kind of additional services. You can pick and add it to your plan. So if you need monthly calls with your accountant, go premium. If you just need it occasionally and you're happy to sort things out by asynchronous communications through chat or email, then go with global and just buy that if you've got something urgent that you need to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no worries. Diana, just tell us that you were on this webinar and then we'll let you know. But yeah, April 1st would be the best for you.
Okay, I think we've covered all the questions we can. I do want to go back and add some stuff about security certificates and things like that, because that's not the expertise of anybody. Oh, I think there's, will the referral link be valid tomorrow? Yeah, this is till the end of the month, right?
Yeah, no, actually your referral code is for forever. So yeah,
I think Ben is talking about the 2 months free on global and this additional 50. You have this week is your magic window, guys. So do it tomorrow. I will be reminding you.
Yeah,
I will remind you. So don't worry about that. So
okay,
in February.
In this case, it depends on when you were registered. So if you register after 15 of the February, then you most likely will be charged for February and March on March. Okay, so at the end of the month, you should be pretty like, and keep an eye on this, because when they don't charge you, that's bad news all the time, always, like forever, because they are not going to say like, yeah, we forgot. Now they were going to fine you. So, but it can be that, because normally this happens if you were registered as an Autónomo after the 15th of the month, whatever month, Social Security will charge only the remaining days, but as a cumulative on the next payment, like at the end of the month of the next month. I don't know if that was fair.
You should really talk to whoever you're registered with to make sure that they are set up, that they have the right bank to collect payments from and everything, because the fines can set up if it's not done correctly.
You can check with the gestor. You can also check directly with the Social Security system. But most likely, if you know that you were registered after 15, then that's completely normal. They will charge you at the end of the March, but you will need to check that on March, you are charged by the remaining days of the February that they didn't charge, and March completely.
Brilliant. Just a couple of extra notes coming through from Xolo support. I wanted to point out that the registration for new Autónomos is actually included free if you stay for a 6-month plan. So given that you get 2 of those months free anyway, If you're planning to out there in the next couple of months, then that seems like a no-brainer to me. But you have to sign up for it before the end of this month. So to get those 2 months free, if you sign up on the 31st, you get April and May free. If you sign up on the 1st of April, you don't. So the links are valid all the way through. It's just that offer itself means that you have to sign up before the 31st. And honestly, don't leave it to the 31st, guys, because, you know, it's easy to forget. Do it this week. Do it tomorrow if you want to definitely lock in April and May. Do it today if you just want to get your head down and do it, and you want to alter straight away.
Also use the link that Maya is going to send you, because if not, then we're going to recognize an extra.
Use that link forever, but that lovely offer of the 2 months will disappear on the 1st of April.
Absolutely.
So it makes complete sense for you guys to jump on this one. And, you know, I think it's going to serve you well. A couple of people have said they came in late. Yes, the fact that you're viewing this now means that you are on the list. You will get an email directing you to where to watch the recording. So you'll be able to catch up with all of this at leisure, make notes, do whatever you want with it, and make sure that you're across everything. And if you've missed anything at all, I'm just going to put, you can contact Xolo for advice just directly by email. So do that if you want to talk to somebody. There we are. That's the email address. It's nice and simple, really. Yeah. I know I had to write it down. I could even have just read it out. So if there's anything we haven't covered here, anything that you're still concerned about, anything that you want to ask about, this will get you straight to a human who will be responsive to you. They'll be pretty responsive. Do bear in mind, though, it's the end of the quarter. And it's also the Modelo 720 week. So you might not get a reply sort of in 5 minutes flat. So just to manage expectations, you will get a response, though, because they're all super nice.
But we have like a very strict replying time. So in less than 10 hours should be like answered.
That is very impressive. And dare I say it, I don't want to be rude, but it's not very Spanish. So
no. But what we want is like to avoid people getting anxious about these things, because we know it's your money. It's Spanish bureaucracy, and sometimes it gets complex. But we want you to have everything already replied, or at least to have a waiting time known already for you to wait for any kind of information. But yeah, just let us know. I think, well, you will find all the information on Maya's website. You can also jump into the website of Xolo, but to get the information and the offer, remember to go into the link that Maya already sent out. And please, we prefer to have questions before the registration to make everything so super clear and avoid any issues. So if you have questions still, and maybe there was something that you want to make super sure before registering, let us know. You can also send us an email there, and we can help you out.
Brilliant. And now you've got a human, because Sade is the head of customer success, so it will be her or somebody from our lovely team.
No, I'm not a head of customer success yet, but yeah, most likely I will be the one.
I just promoted you because
no, because my boss is seeing this, like watching this, and no, but yeah, most likely I am one of the people that will answer your questions along with our lovely team. So just let us know, and we will get back to you in no time.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm aware we've just tipped over the hour, so particular thanks to people who've stuck with us to the end, who've brought such interesting questions and comments to our discussion. Hope to see you all in the Remote Work Spain group. I dropped a really interesting poll in there this morning, actually, so I'd love to know what regions of Spain you're interested in remote working from to help us create more content. Thank you very much for being so supportive of our involvement with Xolo. I hope you will consider using their services going forward. On the links in your comments, you'll get those discounts, and that supports Remote Work Spain. It enables us to keep making content for you, keep answering your questions in the group and everything else. So thank you very much to Sade. It's been a really good conversation. And thank you very much, everybody watching us live or watching the replay back later. So we're going to end the stream now. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.
You too. Bye.